Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport, and it's time once again to look at my predictions. A sport in its own right where I seek to embarrass myself with how badly I actually know motorsport. Seriously, I should change this channel to a cheese ASMR channel with how much I know about motorsport, and my guesses for who was going to be on the F1 grid for 2022 were definitely out there. So let's go back and take a look. And remember to subscribe because I'll be doing this all again for 2023 pretty soon. So let's start at the back of the grid, the very rear end. Haas. And Haas were ass in 2021 and will be looking to improve for 2022. For their drivers, turning up at work was as much fun as turning up at the dentist and finding him drunk. Nikita Mazepin has been woeful, but was in no danger of being replaced because he has a large sack of money holding him up. Even if Haas improve and move up into the midfield, I wouldn't expect Mazepin to improve much past Marcus Ericsson levels, but regardless, he will return in 2022. Schumacher will also return, which is good because it's hard to know how good he is right now. He beat Mazepin handily all 2021, but was hardly stellar himself. I feel bad for Pietro Fittipaldi. I thought he did a good job of his two drives in 2020, but I feel like he's going to disappear. Probably taking drives in the lower classes of the WeatherTech series, maybe popping up every now and again in IndyCar, and we will never see the Schumacher-Fittipaldi names together in Formula 1 unless Enzo Fittipaldi suddenly becomes very good, or David Schumacher. It's weird, I said Kimi Räikkönen would never retire, and he obviously saw it and decided to show me by retiring. Giovinazzi got the boot too, but was not replaced by Robert Schwartzman, so we will not see two Russians on the grid for the first time ever. We'll just have to make do with the first ever Chinese driver instead. Guan Yu Zhou will be disappointed not to be Formula 2 champion, but will take a Formula 1 drive just the same. I don't know what to expect from him in 2022, maybe performances around the level of Yuki Tsunoda. Alpha need to make some gains, and signing the former Mercedes number 2 driver is actually a good bit of business, even if I have said in the past it makes about as much sense to replace a worn out old fin with another one as it does to replace a blown out light bulb with one that has about a minute of life left before giving up entirely. Bottas isn't bad, he'll be consistent if nothing else, and that's probably what Alfa Romeo need right now. I said Räikkönen and Schwartzman, and we got Zhou and Bottas, so I was very wrong. Well, I knew Williams would need to replace at least one driver in 2022. George Russell has ascended to his Mercedes overlords, leaving a spot open. I don't know what I was smoking when I suggested Roy Nissany could replace him. Yes, he is a Williams employee, but good driver he is not. At his very best, he is exceedingly mediocre. Williams obviously share my view because they went for Red Bull employee Alexander Albon. The Thai Brit, who I recently learned is the son of former British touring car backmarker Nigel Albon, something I still find very hard to believe, despite the fact they have the same surname. After a year off due to being unceremoniously replaced at Red Bull by Sergio Perez, and a year in DTM in a Ferrari that saw a win and some decent drives, he is a good signing for Williams, and alongside Nicholas Latifi, who as I said did enough to earn a third year, leave Williams in a good place for 2022, especially if they can continue their forward momentum. I got both Aston Martin drivers right, but to be honest, that is not a surprise. I hardly think Lawrence Stroll was going to risk ruining the Christmas dinner by sacking his son. And Vettel did well for the team in 2021. It was a bit of a fall from the 2020 season, and Lance Stroll in particular was a bit of a disappointment. Sebastian Vettel finished second in Hungary and then getting DQ'd was also a low point, but they are capable of fighting for 5th in the Constructors next year. So 2 points for me, let's move on. Again, AlphaTauri did not change drivers, which I said they wouldn't. It's kind of sad in a way because 2022 will be Pierre Gasly's 5th season with this team, and he deserves a race-winning car. It's a shame no teams have been able to make space for the Frenchman because he could end up being one of the biggest what-if stories in Formula 1 history. It's clear Red Bull should have given him more time. It took Sergio Perez most of a year to get to grips with Red Bull, and Gasly had only a year and a half in Formula 1 when he had to make the same adjustment. Getting ditched after half a year was the wrong decision, especially as Albon didn't really do any better. And now that Pierre Gasly has won a race and performed well over the last couple of seasons, he should be in a Red Bull already. Yuki Tsunoda is good too and was always going to get more than one season. Hopefully he continues to improve in 2022 and sticks around for 2023. 2 more points. Alpine had Oscar Piastri and Guan Yu Zhou ready to go and they bottled it and kept the same two old men. Now Zhou is gone for good and Piastri is being held hostage at Alpine HQ. To be fair, given they had a decent year, Alonso and Ocon were always probably safe. Esteban Ocon took a race win but didn't have a great year overall, and Alonso really did impress on his return. So Alpine are justified in their choice to stick with what they know. Oscar Piastri will get his chance. He is a talent and needs to be nurtured. Fernando Alonso could retire at any time, and Esteban Ocon, well, I know he won a race, but let's be honest, it was a fluke. If his overall performances don't improve, we could see Piastri in as early as 2023, but I only get 1 point from Alpine. So I knew McLaren wouldn't make any changes. Ricciardo and Norris are too good a pairing, they couldn't replace either driver and make a huge improvement on it. Ricciardo had the tougher season and still came out with a win, whilst Lando Norris was in the fight for third in the championship for most of the year and only started to struggle towards the end, and nearly won himself in Russia. So same again for 2023, and that is a really good thing for two really good drivers and a team that have been on the ascendancy for the last few years. So I said that change would only come if Carlos Sainz struggled, and he didn't. He took 5th in the championship, beat Charles Leclerc and helped Ferrari to 3rd in the Constructors. Sainz is a great driver and the next step in his career is winning races. We know Leclerc is good, he got pole in Monaco and couldn't start the race. Ferrari have two good drivers and no need for replacements. Was there any chance Red Bull were going to replace Max Verstappen? He is the golden boy, the champion of Formula 1. And of course he was going to be in a Red Bull to defend his title. He is a star that money simply can't replace, a rarity in modern Formula 1. Having proved that he is that damn good, Max Verstappen's seat is safe for as long as he wants it to be, and with the potential for a partnership with a large manufacturer coming in the future, he would be insane to leave this team that has taken care of him for so long. Sergio Perez did a very good job to back up his teammate, and again, he is a safe number 2. They could replace him with Pierre Gasly, and many will argue that they probably should, but Gasly is more likely to fight harder. Perez is there to do a job and he did it eventually. It took him a little while to get settled, but he did in the end and it helped Red Bull take the Drivers' Championship. I got this right, but I think we knew long before Mercedes did that George Russell was going to get this Mercedes seat left vacant by the departing Valtteri Bottas. He is good and is going to change the dynamic at Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton was mostly gracious in defeat, but rumours have been swirling about him retiring. That would be the ultimate whiny baby move, and as long as he keeps his toys in the pram and shuts up, I reckon he will return. Mercedes still have the potential to win races and pay large sums of money, so Lewis Hamilton won't want to give that up just yet. Mercedes have been bitter in defeat, but need to get their act together and for the love of God keep Toto Wolff locked in a basement. But yeah, I predicted this lineup also and it was pretty obvious, so I don't know why it took so long for Mercedes to decide. So they were my predictions for the 2022 F1 grid. I didn't get too many wrong. Mazepin, both Alpha drivers, Nissany to Williams was a bit dumb. Ocon getting another year, so I guessed 3/4 of the grid, which is really good and a little disappointing that there are so few opportunities for new drivers. FIA, get some new teams on the grid. Better ones than HRT, Caterham and Manor. Some of the older drivers need to retire. But still pretty good, so leave a comment with your thoughts, subscribe so you don't miss when we do this again for 2023, like the video, tell your friends, thank you for watching, and have a good one.